Repetition strengthens awareness. Every time you pause before replying, you train your mind. Every time you breathe before acting, you reclaim authority. Every delayed response builds mental toughness. You have a choice. You decide your state. Your decision shapes outcomes. Emotions are not the enemy. Emotions become destructive only when unmonitored. Anger, fear, frustration, or excitement, these can be tools. Use them as energy, not as justification. Channel emotional intensity into calculated action. High performers act without feeling ready. They do not wait for clarity or motivation. They decide. They commit. They execute. Their results come from deliberate action, not emotional surges. To break the cycle, create micropauses. A pause is not weakness. It is control. When tension rises, breathe deeply. Count silently to 3. Assess the situation before responding. Pause converts reaction into strategy. Every pause shifts power to you. Environment shapes your reactions. Crowds, digital notifications, urgent messages, and overstimulation are all catalysts for reactivity. Remove triggers wherever possible. Mute notifications. Organize your workspace. Control what surrounds you. An environment without distractions allows deliberate choices to flourish. Your internal dialogue drives responses. Notice thoughts that urge immediate action. Label them. Question them. Replace "I must react now" with "I choose my next step." Language transforms behavior. Words internalized become actions externalized. Daily practice cements mastery. Start with small exercises. Respond to minor provocations deliberately. Observe how emotions rise. Hold back the immediate reaction. Act only when you are composed. Small victories accumulate into unstoppable mental discipline. Understand your weaknesses. Everyone has recurring triggers. Identify yours. Some respond emotionally to criticism. Others panic under deadlines. Some are impulsive with money, food, or social interactions. Map these triggers. Prepare strategies in advance. Transformation requires repetition. Each conscious choice against reaction reinforces control. Each paused response strengthens resilience. Every moment you act deliberately, your mind rewires. Reaction becomes optional, not automatic. You do not need permission to reclaim control. No one else can fight your impulses for you. Responsibility begins and ends with you. External chaos cannot dictate internal order. Authority over yourself is non-negotiable. Action replaces reaction. Every decision should start with intention. Every movement should align with purpose. Do not let the urgent overpower the important. Reactivity is seductive. It promises speed, excitement, and control. In reality, it delivers regret, wasted energy, and missed opportunities. Break the cycle through structure. Plan your day. Prioritize tasks. Anticipate triggers. Build routines that reduce reliance on willpower alone. When your environment and schedule are designed to support intentional behavior, reaction loses its grip. Reflection is essential. At the end of the day, review moments where reaction prevailed. Ask, why did I respond this way? Could I have paused? What would a deliberate choice have produced? Journaling strengthens awareness. Patterns become visible. Patterns reveal opportunity. Patterns create mastery. Discipline over reaction fosters clarity. Clear thinking multiplies results. Focused execution outperforms chaotic energy every time. Your mind becomes a tool, not a hostage. Your decisions dictate outcomes. Your life is no longer dictated by circumstance. You have a choice in every situation. React impulsively or respond deliberately. Let chaos dictate your day or command it. Exercise control even in trivial moments. Your victories compound. Consistency transforms behavior into habit. Every pause is progress. Every conscious decision is leverage. Every day you choose awareness, control, and intention, you reclaim power stolen by reaction. Momentum builds naturally when actions are deliberate. Impulse and emotion become allies, not masters. Breaking the cycle is not temporary. It is a permanent shift. It requires vigilance. It demands self-honesty. It rewards persistence. Every day you practice, your mind grows resilient. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to act strategically. Victory over reaction is freedom. It liberates energy. It sharpens focus. It amplifies results. It ensures that life's events no longer hijack your purpose. You direct the narrative. You decide outcomes. You lead your state. This is how high achievers operate. They do not surrender to circumstance. They act with precision. They execute without distraction. They maintain composure under pressure. And they achieve consistently because their actions are intentional. Repetition solidifies mastery. Practice micropauses. Observe impulses. Redirect emotional energy. Respond with strategy. Over time, reaction diminishes. Deliberate action dominates. Awareness, reflection, and disciplined execution break the chain. The enemy of progress is reaction. The weapon is deliberate response. You have the choice to act or be acted upon. Your next action defines your day, your week, and your life. Now that you have begun mastering your responses, it is time to amplify momentum. You have identified your impulses. You have learned to pause. You have reclaimed control over your decisions. Chapter 3. Ignite consistent momentum. Momentum is not magic. It is deliberate action repeated over time. You cannot will it into existence. You create it. You feed it. You protect it. Most people wait for motivation. They expect inspiration to arrive like a gift. It does not. Motivation is unreliable. It is fleeting. It follows action, not the other way around. Consistency fuels momentum. Small actions, repeated daily, compound into unstoppable force. A single focused hour produces results over days, weeks, and months. Missed hours? Opportunities vanish. Lost consistency costs far more than minor effort ever could. Every day you must ignite forward motion. Decide what matters. Act immediately. Resist hesitation. Momentum rewards decisiveness. It punishes delay. Energy is your currency. Direct it. Invest it. Do not squander it on trivial distractions. Emails, notifications, minor conflicts, they drain force without giving returns. Protect your attention like your life depends on it, because it does. Track progress to sustain motion. If action is blind, momentum fades. Review your wins, even small ones. Celebrate execution, not outcome. Acknowledging completion reinforces discipline. Every checkmark on a task list is a microvictory. Microvictories accumulate. They become the engine that drives larger successes. Repetition amplifies momentum. Your mind learns patterns. Your body falls into rhythm. Tasks that once felt laborious become automatic. Your decisions require less mental energy. Your speed increases. Your efficiency multiplies. Momentum is also psychological. A single completed task reduces resistance for the next. Action creates clarity. Clarity drives more action. This is the feedback loop of high performers. Stagnation breaks it. Delay destroys it. Every hour wasted must be accounted for. Your mornings dictate momentum for the day. Win the first hour, and the rest unfolds with leverage. Use this time for focus, planning, and high-value work. Meditation, journaling, or reviewing priorities are not luxuries. They are accelerators. They prevent distraction, decision fatigue, and wasted energy. The first decisive actions of your day create unstoppable flow. Avoid reactive work. Not every task demands immediate attention. Urgency is often illusionary. Distinguish between real priorities and noise. Focus on what moves the needle. Ignore what merely creates movement without results. Momentum aligned with purpose multiplies outcomes exponentially. Momentum is maintained through rhythm. Set fixed routines for deep work, breaks, and reflection. Consistency becomes automatic. Your mind anticipates action. Preparation reduces friction. Resistance cannot disrupt a well-structured system. Structure compounds energy. Energy management is critical. High-intensity output cannot be sustained without rest. Sleep, nutrition, and recovery are non-negotiable. Neglect these, and momentum collapses. You are not defined by sporadic bursts. You are defined by sustained flow. Momentum is contagious internally. One completed project motivates the next. One disciplined choice fuels another. Action breeds confidence. Confidence strengthens resolve. Resolve solidifies habits. Habits become identity. Identity becomes legacy. Obstacles test momentum. Expect them. They are inevitable. Do not pause, complain, or rationalize delay. Adapt. Pivot. Keep moving. Every step, even imperfect, preserves flow. Leverage past victories to fuel new endeavors. A history of consistent action breeds confidence and accelerates future performance. Momentum creates opportunity. As you act consistently, doors appear, timing aligns, and circumstances favor progress. Guard movement. Reinforce routine. Protect your trajectory. Record and review progress regularly. Tracking achievements, no matter how small, reinforces momentum and provides actionable insight. Over time, momentum reduces resistance. Tasks that once felt difficult become manageable. Energy is conserved. Decisions become faster and more accurate. Momentum is self-reinforcing. Each action fuels the next. Each victory enhances confidence. Each routine strengthens character. Momentum is intentional, nurtured, and defended. You decide whether you advance or stagnate. Chapter 4. Resilience as the engine of progress. Setbacks are inevitable. Obstacles appear when least expected. Plans fail. People disappoint. Circumstances change. Resilience is what allows you to recover and push forward without losing momentum. It is the engine that keeps progress alive when everything else fights against you. You cannot control every situation. You cannot predict every outcome. What you can control is your response. Every setback is an opportunity disguised as difficulty. Every challenge tests your commitment. Every disruption evaluates your discipline. Resilience begins with mindset. You must accept that discomfort is part of the process. Frustration is unavoidable. Mistakes are inevitable. Pain is temporary, but the lessons last. Your attitude toward adversity determines the speed and strength of your recovery. Do not avoid struggle. Do not seek comfort as a priority. Growth is forged under pressure. Resistance is the proving ground for mental toughness. Your mind strengthens when you confront difficulty head-on. Your confidence grows when you overcome obstacles without complaint. Internalize the principle. Bounce back stronger. Recover faster. Keep moving. Use it in moments of stress. Action is the antidote to stagnation. When something knocks you down, stand up immediately. Do not linger in defeat. Do not ruminate endlessly. Action signals control. It restores power. Resilient people plan for disruption. They anticipate setbacks. They prepare contingencies. They structure routines that allow recovery without chaos. Preparation reduces the impact of unexpected events. It prevents temporary issues from becoming permanent obstacles. Mental resilience is reinforced by reflection. Every failure must be analyzed. Ask, what went wrong? What could I have done differently? What can I control now? Reflection transforms loss into knowledge. Knowledge becomes leverage for the next action. Emotional control fuels resilience. Do not allow anger, fear, or frustration to dictate your choices. Emotion without discipline leads to poor decisions. Resilience requires calm assessment under pressure. It demands patience and clarity. Every decision made in chaos weakens momentum. Every decision made with composure strengthens it. Physical resilience mirrors mental resilience. Your body supports your mind. Neglect it, and your focus collapses. Sleep, nutrition, and movement are non-negotiable foundations. They provide energy to recover faster, think clearer, and act stronger. Treat your body like a high-performance machine. Resilience is impossible without it. Social resilience is equally important. Surround yourself with individuals who reinforce strength. Avoid those who drain energy or encourage excuses. Communities of discipline amplify personal recovery. Support aligned with purpose accelerates your ability to rebound. Recovery requires decisive action. Plan, implement, monitor, and adjust. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Do not wait for emotions to settle completely. Action restores authority and control. Setbacks often illuminate hidden opportunities. When one approach fails, alternatives emerge. New ideas, paths, and strategies become visible under pressure. Your ability to pivot quickly is a competitive advantage. Self-discipline plays a critical role. Without discipline, setbacks feel insurmountable. With discipline, recovery is methodical and deliberate. External support can aid recovery, but the ultimate responsibility lies with you. Consistency is the antidote to repeated failure. Even imperfect recovery is more powerful than perfection delayed. Daily discipline steps compound over time. Your mindset defines how setbacks affect you. See adversity as temporary. See progress as inevitable with disciplined action. Recovery and adaptation are active processes. They require awareness, analysis, and execution. Every moment you hesitate is a moment lost. Every decision to act immediately strengthens mastery over self and circumstance. Chapter 5. Discipline over emotion. Mastering impulse and reaction. Emotions are powerful. They can energize or destroy. They influence decisions, behaviors, and outcomes more than most people realize. Left unchecked, emotions dictate your day, your actions, and ultimately, your life. Impulse is the silent enemy. It disguises itself as desire, comfort, or urgency. It convinces you that reacting now is necessary, even when waiting is smarter. Every decision made under impulse is a decision surrendered. Every action without control is a loss of authority over your life. Discipline begins with awareness. Notice the first stirrings of anger, frustration, or desire. Name it. Label it. Observe it. Do not act immediately. Do not justify. Do not surrender. Impulse feeds on convenience. It thrives in unprepared minds. It convinces you to check your phone, respond to criticism, or indulge comfort instead of executing priority tasks. You must anticipate triggers. Identify situations that provoke weakness. Prepare a strategy to act differently when confronted. Resisting impulse is not about denial. It is about control. It is about choosing actions aligned with purpose. It is about trading momentary satisfaction for long-term gain. Every choice exercised deliberately strengthens self-mastery. Impulse also emerges from fear. Fear disguises itself as anxiety, hesitation, or avoidance. It convinces you that inaction is safer than execution. Successful people act despite fear. They transform fear into focus, hesitation into action. Anger is another impulse that destroys progress. It seeks revenge, blame, and reaction. Yielding to anger compromises decisions, damages relationships, and sabotages goals. Recognize it. Breathe. Channel the energy into problem-solving or productive work. Self-awareness alone is insufficient. You must structure your environment to reduce triggers. Remove distractions. Set boundaries. Plan interactions strategically. Prevention makes control easier. Impulse thrives in untrained habits. Habits are automatic behaviors. Every uncontrolled habit is an open door for emotional derailment. Build disciplined routines. Consistent practice of high-value actions reduces reliance on fleeting motivation. Routine ensures action regardless of mood. The physical body influences emotional control. Fatigue, poor nutrition, and lack of exercise weaken discipline. Sleep restores focus. Nutrition fuels clarity. Exercise releases tension. A well-maintained body supports a calm, disciplined mind. Physical neglect magnifies impulsivity. Social interactions can trigger impulse. Criticism, envy, or peer pressure pushes you to react unconsciously. Do not surrender your state to others. You are responsible for your behavior, regardless of external provocation. Emotional independence is a sign of mastery. Impulse control builds confidence. Every moment you act deliberately, your self-respect grows. Every time you pause before reacting, power accumulates silently. Failures will occur. Even the disciplined slip. Recovery is immediate acknowledgement and correction. Do not justify. Do not brood. Regain composure and continue. Your authority over self is measured by how quickly you regain control. Decision fatigue is a critical enemy of emotional control. Too many choices without structure reduce willpower. Simplify decisions. Automate routines. Delegate low-value choices. Preserve energy for high-impact actions that require full mental control. Impulse also hides in pleasure and comfort. Overindulgence dulls focus. It reinforces short-term thinking over long-term objectives. Limit unnecessary indulgence. Prioritize actions that contribute to goals, mastery, and progress. Emotional mastery transforms productivity. Controlled actions produce consistent results. Undisciplined reactions lead to chaos, wasted energy, and fragmented focus. The more you master impulse, the fewer obstacles external conditions impose. Your influence grows, your clarity improves, your execution accelerates. The journey of control is incremental. Small victories compound. Pausing before reaction, acting deliberately, and redirecting emotional energy become habits. Momentum builds silently. Results accumulate invisibly. Implement this philosophy relentlessly. Your discipline over emotion will dictate your trajectory. It governs relationships, wealth, health, and personal growth. Every uncontrolled reaction costs time, energy, and potential. Every deliberate choice advances you toward mastery. You have authority over your inner state. Exercise it daily. Chapter 6. The Power of Focus. Eliminate distractions. Focus is your most valuable asset. Without it, effort is wasted. Energy scattered produces little. Results require concentrated attention. Distraction is the silent thief of progress. Phones, notifications, social media, unnecessary tasks, they all fragment your attention. Every interruption steals momentum and clarity. Protect focus ruthlessly. Guard it as if your life depends on it, because it does. Focus begins with clarity. Know exactly what your priority is. Identify the task that moves the needle most. Ignore everything else. The majority of activity is noise. Action without direction is wasted effort. Time is finite. Every wasted minute compounds. Deep focus creates exponential returns. Shallow attention yields nothing. The difference between success and mediocrity is often a matter of sustained attention on high-value tasks. Structure your environment for focus. Remove distractions before starting. Silence notifications. Clean your workspace. Decide in advance what will receive your attention and what will not. Out of sight, out of mind, distractions vanish. Discipline amplifies focus. Even when motivation is low, habits maintain attention. Set routines for deep work. Allocate blocks of uninterrupted time. Guard them as sacred. Momentum thrives in protected focus. The mind wanders by default. Train it to return immediately to the task. Use repetition. Anchor attention through consistent practice. Focus is a skill, not a natural trait. It grows with effort. Focus and energy are linked. Physical fatigue reduces mental control. Sleep, nutrition, and exercise support sustained attention. Protect your body to protect your mind. Energy is the fuel for focus. Without it, mental clarity fades. External input affects focus. Avoid toxic conversations, irrelevant media, and energy-draining interactions during critical work periods. Your environment shapes your mental state. Control the environment, control your attention. Focus is also about saying no. Every distraction avoided, every trivial request declined, reinforces mastery over attention. Freedom comes through selective engagement. Do not spread yourself thin. Depth over breadth always wins. Clarity and focus create acceleration. When attention is concentrated, results multiply. You solve problems faster. You execute decisions with precision. You achieve in hours what others spend days attempting. Daily review enhances focus. Each morning, define critical tasks. Each evening, review accomplishments. Reflection aligns attention with priorities. Momentum compounds when focus is maintained consistently over time. Master focus and you master life. Distractions fade, productivity rises, stress decreases, and results accelerate. Guard it. Protect it. Exercise it relentlessly. Chapter 7. The Art of Strategic Action. Action alone is not enough. Directionless effort produces fatigue, not results. Strategic action is deliberate, purposeful, and aligned with your ultimate goals. Decide what matters most. Not everything deserves attention. Identify tasks that produce leverage. Focus on high-impact activities. Less done well beats more done poorly. Prioritize relentlessly. Every decision to act must consider value. Will this move me closer to my objective? If not, eliminate it. Efficiency requires ruthless evaluation of opportunity cost. Planning precedes action. Clear objectives guide execution. Break goals into manageable steps. Each action becomes intentional, measurable, and aligned with strategy. Random effort wastes energy. Structured effort produces power. Execution requires discipline. Planning without follow-through is meaningless. Act decisively. Complete tasks before moving to the next. Momentum builds when actions are finished consistently, not just started. Feedback is critical. Track results, analyze performance, and adjust strategy. Blind repetition is ineffective. Action without learning is wasted. Strategic action integrates reflection with execution. Time management is essential. Allocate blocks for deep, focused work. Protect these periods. Avoid multitasking, which fragments energy and reduces effectiveness. Single-minded effort produces superior results. Leverage resources. Delegate low-value tasks. Automate repetitive processes. Strategic action amplifies your efforts through intelligent use of tools, people, and systems. Do not waste personal energy on tasks that can be optimized or outsourced. Resistance is inevitable. Distractions, setbacks, and obstacles appear constantly. Strategic action anticipates resistance. Plans include contingencies. Preparation reduces disruption. You execute under pressure with precision. Consistency is key. Small, well-directed steps repeated daily compound into significant achievement. Strategic action without consistency is hollow. Consistency without strategy is wasted effort. Both are required for mastery. Decision-making is an art. Prioritize speed without sacrificing accuracy. Analyze available information quickly. Trust experience and intuition where applicable. Hesitation reduces advantage. Strategic action values decisive execution. Reflection strengthens strategy. Regularly review goals, progress, and results. Adjust plans to align with reality. Flexibility ensures adaptation without sacrificing momentum. Inaction due to rigid adherence is failure disguised as discipline. Strategic action is about leverage, focus, and efficiency. Execute deliberately. Adjust continuously. Protect momentum. This is how results are multiplied, goals are achieved, and mastery is built. Chapter 8. Habits as the foundation of power. Habits are invisible forces that shape outcomes. They determine productivity, mindset, health, and relationships. Excellence is rarely spontaneous. It is habitual. Identify key habits that drive results. Morning routines, disciplined work periods, focused exercise, reading, reflection, planning. These are compounding forces. Small daily actions define long-term outcomes. Consistency builds identity. Doing the right things repeatedly transforms behavior into automaticity. Your habits define your character, and your character determines destiny. Start small. Tiny, consistent actions are easier to maintain than massive efforts. Growth is incremental, not explosive. Each repetition reinforces neural pathways. Each completed habit strengthens discipline. Remove friction. Make good habits easy, bad habits difficult. Environment influences behavior more than willpower. Out of sight, out of mind. Build systems that favor desired action. Accountability accelerates habit formation. Track progress. Public or private reporting reinforces commitment. Reflection on success and failure strengthens discipline and insight. Habits compound. Consistency over months produces results that appear miraculous in hindsight. Small, daily victories accumulate silently until they overwhelm obstacles. Momentum and habits are inseparable. Habits are resilient during adversity. Routines provide stability when chaos strikes. Discipline maintained through structured habits ensures forward movement despite external challenges. Beware destructive habits. Procrastination, distraction, indulgence, avoidance. These erode momentum. Identify and replace them strategically. Eliminate triggers. Replace weak habits with strong, automatic alternatives. Self-awareness enhances habit mastery. Observe behavior, triggers, and outcomes. Adjust habits to improve efficiency, resilience, and focus. Habit mastery is not rigid. It is adaptive and intelligent. The ultimate goal of habits is freedom. When positive habits are automated, effort diminishes, focus increases, and energy is liberated for high-value actions. Habits create the framework for excellence, discipline, and unstoppable progress. Chapter 9. The Unstoppable Mindset. Think like a winner. Mindset governs action. Your internal dialogue dictates how you respond to challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. Winners think differently. They act differently. They see the world differently. Adopt responsibility. Blame is weakness. Excuses are chains. Winners own results. They see failure as feedback, not defeat. Every challenge is a lesson. Every obstacle a test. Every setback a chance to grow. Persistence is mandatory. Talent is useless without follow-through. Discipline is useless without resilience. Success favors those who endure, adapt, and act relentlessly. Winners act when others pause. They persist when others quit. Expect resistance. Life does not cater to desire. The path is strewn with difficulty. Winners anticipate friction and prepare for it. They do not hope for ease. They create solutions and continue anyway. Confidence is cultivated through action. Every step forward reinforces self-trust. Every decision executed strengthens authority over your life. Action breeds belief. Belief reinforces action. Focus on solutions, not problems. Obsess over outcomes, not obstacles. Energy spent on complaint or worry is energy lost. Winners redirect frustration into constructive work. Adopt a long-term perspective. Immediate results are irrelevant compared to cumulative growth. Patience, persistence, and discipline produce unstoppable compounding. Winners operate in the long game. Control the controllable. External events, other people's actions, and random circumstance are beyond full influence. Focus on preparation, response, and execution. Power resides in what you can manage. Commitment is non-negotiable. Winners do not negotiate with fear, doubt, or temptation. They act decisively, consistently, and intentionally. Momentum, habits, and strategy compound to produce dominance over circumstance. Every challenge, obstacle, and setback becomes fuel. Winners transform difficulty into leverage. They see adversity as a tool, not a barrier. Mastery of mind precedes mastery of life. Chapter 10. Your legacy. Execute relentlessly. Every day is an opportunity to shape your legacy. What you do now, consistently and deliberately, defines the life you leave behind. Results are a reflection of discipline, focus, resilience, and strategic action. Execution is everything. Ideas without action are illusions. Plans without follow-through are dreams. Discipline without movement is wasted potential. Only relentless execution produces results. Momentum compounds daily. Small victories accumulate into major achievement. Each task completed, each obstacle overcome, each habit reinforced. These are bricks in the foundation of your future. Take responsibility for every outcome. Do not shift blame. Ownership strengthens character. Ownership builds authority. Ownership accelerates growth. Time is finite. Protect it. Invest it wisely. Decisions made today compound into outcomes tomorrow. Delay is your enemy. Immediate, decisive action is your ally. Teach through example. Your actions influence others. Execution inspires confidence, trust, and admiration. Leadership is not declared. It is demonstrated through consistent action. Pursue mastery relentlessly. Never settle for mediocrity. Stretch beyond comfort. Challenge limits. Discipline, focus, resilience, and strategy are the tools. Action is the method. Results are the measure. Reflect, adjust, repeat. Continuous improvement ensures momentum is maintained. Daily evaluation sharpens clarity, strengthens habits, and reinforces mindset. Your legacy is forged in the small, consistent, disciplined actions taken daily. The sum of deliberate decisions becomes your story. The life you live is the proof of your mastery. Execution transforms intention into reality. Act decisively. Protect momentum. Master habits. Strengthen resilience. Control emotion. Focus relentlessly. Execute strategically. Build power silently. Influence consistently. Grow daily. Your legacy is waiting. Claim it. Chapter 11. Command your life with unbreakable consistency. Legacy is not built in moments of inspiration. It is built in seasons of repetition. Consistency is the true separator. Talent without consistency fades. Vision without consistency stalls. Discipline without consistency collapses. What you do repeatedly becomes who you are. What you tolerate repeatedly becomes your standard. What you delay repeatedly becomes regret. There is no breakthrough without follow-through. Most people wait for the perfect moment. They wait for clarity, confidence, energy, or approval. That moment never comes. Masters act in imperfect conditions. They execute with incomplete information. They move forward while others hesitate. Consistency does not ask how you feel. It asks who you are. Comfort does not dictate action. Mood does not determine behavior. Commitment overrides both. This is the difference between interest and ownership. Interest fades when it becomes inconvenient. Ownership acts regardless. Consistency is not intensity. It is reliability under pressure. It is showing up when energy is low, recognition is absent, and progress is invisible. This is where most people quit. Not because the task is impossible, but because the reward is delayed. Power is built in delay. Strength is forged in waiting. Character is revealed when effort precedes reward. You do not need perfect days. You need uninterrupted chains of execution. One disciplined action creates momentum. Momentum lowers resistance. Lower resistance increases consistency. Protect the chain. Every day you keep the chain unbroken. Self-trust compounds. Every day you break it without reason. Doubt creeps back in. Confidence is not a feeling. It is evidence accumulated over time. Self-command is the highest form of leadership. If you cannot govern your habits, emotions, and time, nothing external will rescue you. Control emotion. Emotion clouds judgment. Unchecked emotion turns discomfort into excuses. Discipline does not suppress emotion. It places emotion in its proper role. Emotion becomes information, not authority. Control focus. Distraction fragments power. Every divided attention weakens execution. Focus is not doing more. It is doing what matters without dilution. Control time. Time mismanaged becomes regret. Time mastered becomes leverage. You do not find time. You allocate it. You defend it. You invest it deliberately. Every hour spent unconsciously is an hour surrendered to circumstance. You do not wait for balance. You create structure. Structure removes negotiation. Structure eliminates hesitation. Structure converts effort into routine. This is not rigidity. It is precision. Precision allows speed. Speed sustains momentum. Momentum creates dominance. Every day, you are training yourself to act decisively or to delay, to complete or to abandon, to lead or to drift. There is no neutral ground. Your nervous system remembers patterns. Your mind adapts to repetition. Your identity follows behavior. Execute long enough and discipline becomes instinct. Instinct becomes identity. Identity shapes destiny. This is why consistency matters more than talent. Talent impresses briefly. Consistency transforms permanently. The world respects consistency because it is rare. Results trust consistency because it is dependable. Legacy requires consistency because it endures. This is not about motivation. Motivation fluctuates. Consistency anchors. This is not about enthusiasm. Enthusiasm burns fast. Consistency burns long. This is not about perfection. Perfection delays action. Consistency demands progress. Standards matter more than goals. Goals can be postponed. Standards dictate behavior now. Set standards that do not negotiate with mood. Standards that do not bend under pressure. Standards that define who you are, regardless of outcome. Standards protect momentum. Momentum protects confidence. Confidence fuels further execution. This is the loop. You are no longer chasing outcomes. You are enforcing process. Process does not panic. Process does not rush. Process does not collapse under emotion. Process delivers, if you remain loyal to it. Measure progress honestly. Not emotionally. Not dramatically. Reflect without self-attack. Adjust without hesitation. Then execute again. No drama. No delay. No excuses. Correction is not failure. Correction is intelligence in motion. You refine systems so discipline requires less effort. You simplify decisions so execution becomes automatic. You remove friction so consistency becomes inevitable. This is mastery. Execution is not loud. Consistency is not glamorous. But their impact is undeniable. Others will question your pace. They will underestimate your method. They will misunderstand your silence. Ignore it. You are not here to be entertained. You are not here to be validated. You are here to be effective. Effectiveness compounds quietly. Until one day, results speak without explanation. That is authority. Legacy is not what you announce. It is what remains when words disappear. It is built when no one is watching. Starting today, your only mission is simple. Chapter 12. Become inevitable. At the highest level, success is no longer about effort. It is about inevitability. Inevitability is what happens when discipline outlasts emotion, when structure outlives motivation, when standards remain intact regardless of circumstance. Most people live reactively. They respond to pressure. They adjust to mood. They negotiate with discomfort. As a result, their progress is fragile. Inevitability is different. It does not depend on feeling ready. It does not wait for alignment from the outside world. It moves forward because it has no alternative. You do not hope for results. You expect them, because the system guarantees them. This is the final evolution of mastery. At first, you force discipline. Then you practice discipline. Eventually, discipline practices you. Your habits no longer require energy. They generate it. Your routines no longer feel restrictive. They feel stabilizing. Your standards no longer feel heavy. They feel protective. This is when life stops feeling chaotic. Not because problems disappear, but because your response is already decided. You no longer ask, "What should I do?" You already know. Inevitability begins with standards that do not bend. Most people lower standards when life becomes difficult. They excuse inconsistency. They rationalize shortcuts. They justify retreat. Masters do the opposite. When pressure increases, standards tighten. When stakes rise, discipline sharpens. When discomfort appears, execution becomes cleaner. This is not punishment. It is preservation. Standards are not rules imposed on yourself. They are boundaries that protect your future. You protect sleep because fatigue weakens judgment. You protect focus because distraction erodes power. You protect routines because chaos steals momentum. Every protection is strategic. Nothing is accidental at this level. Every decision serves stability. Every habit supports longevity. Longevity is the true advantage. Anyone can push hard briefly. Few can operate cleanly for decades. The long game is won by those who last. To become inevitable, you must stop relying on motivation entirely. Motivation is emotional fuel. Emotional fuel burns inconsistently. Systems are mechanical. They function regardless of mood. When life becomes demanding, and it will, motivation disappears first. Systems remain. That is why your identity must be system-based, not emotion-based. You are not someone who tries. You are someone who executes. You are not someone who hopes to stay consistent. You are someone who does not negotiate standards. Identity eliminates friction. Once identity is set, behavior follows naturally. This is why self-image matters more than willpower. You will always act in alignment with who you believe you are. If your identity is flexible, your discipline will be fragile. If your identity is solid, discipline becomes automatic. I am the kind of person who finishes. I am the kind of person who trains daily. I am the kind of person who executes regardless of mood. These are not affirmations. They are operational truths, backed by behavior. Evidence reinforces identity. Identity reinforces behavior. This loop is unbreakable once established. At this stage, you stop obsessing over outcomes. Outcomes are lagging indicators. Process is the lead indicator. You measure success by adherence, not applause. By consistency, not comparison. By execution, not recognition. This frees you. Freedom does not come from doing whatever you want. It comes from removing internal conflict. Internal conflict is exhausting. Debate drains energy. Indecision fragments focus. When standards are clear, conflict disappears. You do not wonder whether to act. You simply act. That simplicity is power. Your days become clean. Your mind becomes quiet. Your energy becomes available. This is not emotional numbness. It is emotional regulation. You still feel fear. You still feel resistance. You still feel uncertainty. But none of them dictate behavior. They exist in the background. Acknowledged, not obeyed. This is command. Command is calm. Command is patient. Command is controlled. You stop chasing urgency. You stop performing productivity. You stop proving effort. You work steadily, relentlessly, without spectacle. Spectacle is for those seeking validation. Masters seek results. At this level, setbacks no longer threaten identity. Failure becomes data. Delay becomes information. Resistance becomes feedback. Nothing feels personal. You adjust, refine, and continue. This emotional neutrality is not coldness. It is clarity. Clarity allows precision. Precision preserves momentum. You no longer swing between extremes. You operate within range. Extreme effort leads to burnout. Extreme relaxation leads to decay. Range is sustainable. Sustainability is dominance over time. This is where inevitability lives. You become predictable to yourself. You know you will show up. You know you will execute. You know you will finish. That self-trust is priceless. Self-trust removes anxiety. Anxiety comes from unreliability, not from difficulty. When you trust yourself, pressure loses its threat. You do not panic under deadlines. You do not crumble under responsibility. You do not collapse under volume. Because you have proof. Years of proof. Proof that you execute when tired. Proof that you stay consistent when bored. Proof that you do not abandon standards under stress. Proof builds authority. Authority is not dominance over others. It is sovereignty over yourself. Self-sovereignty is the highest form of power. No one can manipulate what is internally anchored. No one can destabilize what is structurally sound. This is why inevitable people are dangerous, in the best way. They are not loud. They are not reactive. They are not dramatic. They are dependable. Dependability is underestimated because it is quiet. But it is unstoppable. While others restart, you continue. While others adjust emotionally, you adjust strategically. While others wait for clarity, you act within structure. Time becomes your ally. Time rewards consistency brutally. Short bursts fade. Long adherence compounds. This is why inevitability cannot be rushed. You cannot fake it. You cannot shortcut it. You cannot borrow it. It must be built. Brick by brick. Day by day. Action by action. Most people abandon the process just before inevitability takes hold. They were close, but inconsistent. Disciplined, but emotional. Committed, but flexible when it mattered most. You will not make that mistake. You understand now. The work never ends, but it gets easier. Not because effort decreases, but because resistance does. What once required force now requires presence. You move forward without friction. This is not boredom. It is flow. Flow built on discipline, not impulse. You no longer need to be inspired. You no longer need to be pushed. You no longer need to be reminded. You have crossed the line from motivation to inevitability. Starting today, your only mission is simple. Name the impulse. Pause. Act consciously. Repeat. For the next 90 days, build rituals, track victories, remove temptations, and reinforce your authority over yourself. Do this, and nothing external can control you. Do not, and you will remain a prisoner of desire forever. The choice is yours. Master yourself, or be mastered. Listen carefully. Your impulses are not harmless. They are silently controlling your life. Every uncontrolled urge, every unchecked reaction, every moment of just this once steals power from your future. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is simple. Self-control. Not motivation. Not luck. Not opportunity. This audiobook will teach you how to turn impulses into power, how to act with precision, and how to build unstoppable internal authority. If you master yourself, Nothing external can defeat you. If you fail, you will remain a prisoner of desire. Chapter 1. Name your enemy. Impulse. Impulse is the enemy of progress. Impulse is the force that steals your focus. Impulse is the reason good intentions fail. You cannot fight what you cannot see. That is the first truth. Awareness is the first weapon. You must recognize the triggers that hijack your decisions. You must identify the moments when your instincts override your logic. Impulse does not announce itself. It creeps in quietly. It whispers. It tempts. It deceives. It disguises itself as comfort, entertainment, or even opportunity. Consider the mornings when you plan to work on your most important task. You sit down. You open your laptop. A notification pops up. A message. A news alert. A social media update. Your mind flickers. You reach for it. Before you realize, an hour has vanished. Impulse has claimed victory. You cannot fight what you cannot see. This is why you must name your enemy. Call it out. Label it. Identify it. When you name the impulse, it loses its power. You see it. You recognize it. You stop it before it controls you. Impulse is not limited to digital distractions. It shows up in food choices. A craving hits. Your hand moves toward the bag of chips. Your mouth moves before your mind intervenes. That is impulse. It is unconscious. It is reaction without strategy. Impulse drives spending decisions. You see a shiny object. You want it. You buy it without considering consequences. Debt accumulates. Stress accumulates. Impulse wins. Again. Impulse shows up in conversations and relationships. Someone provokes you. Your first reaction is anger. You speak before thinking. You regret your words. Impulse wins because you were unaware of it. Awareness requires observation. You must monitor your body and mind for the signals of impulse. A racing heart. A quickened breath. A sudden urge. An emotional spike. These are your cues. Recognize them. Pause. Do not act immediately. Pausing is a skill. Pausing converts emotional energy into deliberate action. Reaction is weakness. Response is strength. You have a choice. You can act from habit, from impulse. Or you can act from awareness, from intention. Naming your enemy also involves understanding your patterns. Which times of day are you most vulnerable? Which environments trigger mindless behavior? Which people amplify your impulses? Map it out. Write it down. Document your weaknesses before you fight them. Self-control is not a feeling. It is a practice. Impulse cannot be eliminated. It can only be managed. Management begins with recognition. See it. Name it. Stop it. One practical approach is to give impulse a name. Call it the whisper or the temptation. When it arises, say to yourself, here is the whisper. Instantly, the threat becomes external, visible. You are no longer blind. You no longer act unconsciously. Another approach is micropausing. Whenever an urge hits, take 3 deep breaths. Count to 5 before responding. Observe the sensation without giving in. Impulse loses momentum when confronted with awareness. Impulse thrives on immediacy. It relies on the assumption that you must act now. Delay, and it weakens. Delay, and you regain control. Delay, and you act with strategy, not reaction. Remember, your environment is a battlefield. Every notification, every temptation, every minor stressor is a soldier in the army of impulse. You do not need to fight each one physically. You need to control the battlefield, your mind. Set boundaries. Eliminate triggers. Prepare your mind for battle before it begins. You have a choice in every moment. You can submit to impulse, or you can act deliberately. You can react, or you can respond. You can drift, or you can direct. Every time you choose deliberately, you strengthen your self-control. Every time you let impulse dictate, you weaken it. Naming your enemy also requires reflection. At the end of the day, review every moment where impulse guided you. Ask, what triggered this? Could I have responded differently? Reflection turns experience into mastery. The patterns become clear. The triggers become visible. The next day, you are better prepared. Impulse is not weakness. It is biology, habit, and environment. But your response is strength. Your control is discipline. Your mastery is power. The transformation begins with simple awareness. Notice every urge. Label it. Pause. Redirect it. Act deliberately. Do not allow your mind to be hijacked by unconscious desires. Imagine a day where every decision is intentional. No wasted time. No regrets. No unplanned actions. You move through your tasks with precision. You conserve energy. You maximize output. You win in every arena because your mind is under your control. This is not theoretical. High performers in every field, athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, master impulse before they master skill. They control their emotions. They act strategically. They execute under pressure without losing focus. Their results are consistent because their actions are intentional. You cannot fight what you cannot see. Name your enemy. Map your triggers. Pause before action. Reflect on patterns. Prepare for battle before it arrives. Every small victory against impulse compounds. Every choice to respond rather than react strengthens your discipline. Every conscious decision builds resilience. Every day, your control expands. The enemy of progress is invisible, impulsive behavior. The weapon against it is awareness, strategy, and deliberate action. You have a choice. You can act unconsciously, or you can act deliberately. Today, start with recognition. Notice your impulses. Name them. See them for what they are. Your ability to act with intention grows from this awareness. Control your mind. Control your actions. Control your life. You have faced your first enemy. You have begun to see the invisible forces stealing your focus and energy. You have learned to pause, to observe, and to act deliberately. This is the foundation of all mastery. Next, we will confront another hidden obstacle. One that undermines your effort, patience, and momentum. You have named your enemy. Now, it is time to build your defenses. Chapter 2. Break the cycle of reaction. Most people live on autopilot. They respond instead of decide. They react instead of act. Every day, habits form without conscious choice. This is the cycle of reaction. It steals focus, energy, and momentum. You must break it. Reaction is fast. It feels urgent. It feels necessary. But reaction is uncontrolled. It is emotional. It is short-sighted. Every reactive choice carries hidden consequences. Think about your day. Someone criticizes you. Instant anger rises. You snap. You regret it later. Impulse wins. Reaction controls the moment. Discipline loses. Breaking the cycle starts with observation. You must notice your triggers. Notice how your body tenses.